We're back on Inside Politics. Our guest today is Mary Mancini, the new chairman of the State Democratic Party. Mary, as you look towards this coming cycle and then for 2018, you have to have candidates. Are you already having people interested in running, particularly in 2016 already? Is it time to already be recruiting those candidates to run?
It's absolutely time to do that. And yes, there have been people that have expressed interest. I think.
Are they the kind of people you want to have express interest? Without getting into names, but I mean, you know, there's some people who want to run, and yeah, fine, great, but that's not who we really want. You're getting the kind of quality already that you think you want to be able to challenge for those seats.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Now, on a statewide level, it may be a little bit different commitment to run statewide. You'll have both the governor's chair in 2018 and Bob Corker's current seat in the U.S. Senate up as well. So where do your candidates come from? Are you going to have to find another millionaire who's looking for something else to do?
Well, without getting into specifics, there are three things that make a good candidate. Someone who has strong ties to the state or their community, you know, so their name recognition is good. Someone who is willing to work hard, right? Because that's part of it, and then someone who's willing to raise money. And when you have those,
or has money already,
sure. But you know, when you have when you're talking about raising money, even if you have money, you want to raise it as well, because it shows that people want to invest in your candidacy. And so I don't think it's just enough to be able to self-fund. Obviously, that's very helpful, but you need to be able to raise money as well.
Now, when you look at state politics, you see on the federal level, it's dominated by Republicans in our delegation, 7-2. You look at both Senate seats are held by Republicans, and state legislature, large Republican supermajorities. But on the local level, you have a lot of mayors that are at least identified as Democrats. They may not run that way. Their parties, their races in their seats in their cities may be nonpartisan. Do you look at that particular pool of people that are in those offices right now or have been in those offices recently as your potential candidates for statewide race?
Absolutely. I don't think there's anyone that's off the table. And we are, you know, I think that's a great point, and it's a clear indication of what Tennessee is really like when we have so many progressive, self-described Democrats or progressive mayors in our major cities that also believe in our values, that opportunity for all, don't leave anybody behind, rising tide lifts all boats. And so, yeah, absolutely look to them. But again, we need to do a deep dive for this.
Now, as the state party chair, is it your goal not only to identify and help recruit candidates, but is it also to make that on a plural basis? You had mentioned earlier you thought it was better on a presidential level to have competition for that nomination. Do you feel the same way as you look towards these races in 2018?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that primaries are healthy.
They don't divide the party necessarily. They don't waste resources that ought to be used, particularly in your case being such a minority against the Republicans in the fall.
No, again, you know, it's about the cream rising to the top. If we have an abundance of good candidates, then wow, I think that's a gift.
Now, many Republicans are looking at the race for governor in 2018. Bill Haslam won't be able to seek a third term. There is some talk that may include the current senator, Bob Corker. Do you expect Bob Corker to be a candidate, and how formidable would he be?
Well, you know, the last time Bob and I spoke, no, I have no idea. You know, if he did decide to do it, he would be a very formidable candidate. I mean, he has name recognition, strong ties to the community. Obviously, he has money. So, yeah, he would be a formidable candidate. But again, you know, there's clear differences between the two parties, and you know, we just need to articulate what those differences are, what our values are, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Now, Democrats haven't won a statewide race in Tennessee since Phil Bredesen won his re-election back in 2006. By 12 years, that'll be 12 years by the year 2018.
Yeah.
How do you break that streak?
Again, you know, good candidates. That are willing to work hard, have good name recognition. I mean, that are willing to get out in the community and talk to folks. I think that one of the mistakes that we had made in the past is not starting our candidate recruitment early enough. And just kind of letting it go and ceding certain seats to Republicans. And that's not going to happen anymore.
In some cases, almost ceding statewide seats as well.
Well, that's what I mean, yeah. That's not going to happen anymore.
Let's move back to the state legislature for just a minute. One of the big things that Governor Haslam pushed and failed, he had a lot of Democratic support for it, was the Insure Tennessee program. It's now been slightly revised by Jeff Yarborough, who you mentioned, who's state senator here in Nashville. He's got it through 2 Senate committees. It's coming up for a crucial vote in the 3rd Senate committee this next week. Are you beginning to sense perhaps that the mood is changing on the Hill a little bit about this bill?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's changing it?
The changing is that people are outraged. When it died in the special committee, which, by the way, was rigged by Ron Ramsey to have more no votes than yes votes, it wasn't the standing committee. It was something he concocted.
It was a special committee.
It was a special committee. People were outraged. Why wouldn't you want to extend affordable health care to almost 300,000 hardworking Tennesseans? And people across Tennessee made it known to their legislators that that's a problem. You're not working for the people. So that's what's changed. It's just public outrage.
Mary Mancini, thank you for coming on. I'm sure we'll have you back on again in the future.
I hope so. Thank you.
By the way, we did make an outreach to have Chris Devaney join us this week for the Republican side. We will have somebody from the Republican Party on soon to present their case in terms of what's going on within the Republican Party here in Tennessee. Thank you for joining us this week on Inside Politics. Hope you'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get enough politics in the meantime, go to the News Channel 5 network. You'll find my Capitol View commentary there. New commentary is posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.